Warning, the following podcast is intended for immature dads only. Listener discretion is advised. This is Dad's Game Review, the most casual hardcore gamers around. Reviews and news from every platform. We waste our time so you don't have to.
What's up, kids? Welcome to a new edition of Dad's Game Review. I am Paul Squilacci, and I'm joined by our new awesome host, a man who wears a shirt. Josh.
Hey, it's a shirt with my face on it too. Look at that. Look at that. I'm wearing my own. How douchey is that? I'm wearing my own tank top. What's
Nothing
up, guys?
contrarian to see here.
I am taking over as the new side host of Dad's Game Review. So I was doing all those little guest spots, and now we're gonna make it a regular thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully this works out. We're gonna try and put this on YouTube as well. I'm recording. I think you are too.
Yeah, we don't really have a setup right now. We're not sure how it all works, but I figured I'd just put this out there for one to watch us talk to each other, and who knows. Just two dudes hanging out in a Halo ship talking to each other.
Oh my God, what did we play this week? Do you know what we played? We played
playing Tales of Kezera.
Kezera, is that how you say it? Zara?
Tales of Kezera, I think it was, yeah.
Okay, well, let me read this. Tales of Kezera, Zao, is a 2024 Metroidvania video game developed by Surgent Studios and published by Electronic Arts under the EA Originals label. The game was released for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox Series XS on the 23rd of April. Right. On release, it was received positive reviews from critics. Thanks, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I saw this. I thought it was more recent than that, but I do remember seeing it pop up on PS Plus as one of the release games. So everything we're going to be reviewing here, I'm going to be picking from PS Plus each week and have Paul pick too, so that we can give you games that if you guys have the subscription, you can go ahead and give them a try and check them out, because that's, I already pay enough for the goddamn subscription. So how about we use it? Okay.
Just like that. Okay?
Yeah. So yeah, this is an indie game. Let me tell you the studio here real quick. Let me pull up my
EA Originals. I haven't seen them publish anything recently.
Yeah, I try and avoid EA, but this is fine.
Really?
This is fine. No. EA Originals, I know that's a little better, but EA in general as a company, that's anyway. This is Surgent Studios.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Oh God, memories of Madden when I actually cared.
Yeah, right. What are they up to? 24? Madden 24?
I don't give a shit. What's changed since 2002 when I was in college?
Oh, nothing. It's just they just reskin it. A little bit of the graphics.
So this is Surgent Studios, okay? Surgent Studios, and this is their first game. And the creator of Surgent Studios, if I get the name right, it's Abu Bakr Salim, okay? He's known. I'm only playing my first Assassin's Creed game right now. I'm playing Black Flag and having a blast. But apparently he was a guy named Bayek.
You picked the best one. You picked the best one, to be honest.
The viewers voted. The viewers voted. I had to go with it. I'm having so much fun 25 hours in. I'm just fucking around like crazy. So anyway, Abu Bakr Salim, he played Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins. He created this studio and he made this game to deal with the loss of his father. So this is about his father dying, and this is how he kind of handled it, was making this game to express his loss. So I already found that beautiful. I mean, that's
definitely
really cool. So yeah, I just thought we'd give it a try. And I'm not a fan of Metroidvanias, honestly. My problem with Metroidvanias is I feel constantly lost. I know
they're very hard.
I'm supposed to remember where I could use that ability now, and that doesn't work up here. That doesn't keep those information. It's not holding on to that. Like I was really into Ori and the Blind Forest or whatever. Awesome.
Right.
Game. Awesome.
Yeah.
I took a week off from it. I came back and I was like, what? Where? I don't know what to do. Nothing seems to be marked here. I don't have a clear path. How do I get back?
Did you actually record it?
What?
I mean, did you actually finish it?
Oh, no. I couldn't figure out where to go from there, so I gave up. That's what I do.
Oh.
I quit things.
Yeah, that's what I do.
But it was amazing. That's probably the most fun I had with the Metroidvania. So it's not really my type of thing. You give me Castlevania Symphony of the Night, cool. Yeah, that's great. But yeah, not really my jam usually. But this game was I thought it was great. You tell me what you thought.
Okay. It is the most fun Metroidvania game I've ever played, but that's only because it was easy to play. The controls were pretty easy. Even when they kept piling on the special effects, when they kept piling on the special moves, they seemed to flow right where your thumb was or where your trigger finger was. And I loved that. I thought it was great. And I just was like, wow, finally a Metroidvania game that works. I was talking to this about, this is what you talk about with your wife when you're home. I was talking about my wife, and I was just telling her how great this Hoover Steam Vac is.
Hey, I got excited for a Dyson. I get it. I got excited for
and
a
I
Dyson.
told her, and I was like, finally, Hoover. What did it take you, 68 years to get it right?
It was like the Kmart brand back then. You're like, I only have $24 for a freaking vacuum. I get a Hoover.
But it finally worked, and I was like, this is what I felt like about this game. Zao. They finally got something that worked. It makes me want to play it. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, this is like one of those games where you sit down and you kick it and you just kind of like, you go, oh, wow. Like, okay, yeah, we could just get right back into this. What was the name of that game? Broforce.
Broforce. I know the title, but I don't remember it.
Oh my God. Everything was called Bro. Every character.
That's my type of thing. The dude in the tank top with muscles, fucking bro.
Yeah, it's all like 80s based, and it starts out with like Ram Bro, and you just you go through, and then there's like Machete Bro, like, and they get introduced like in these big splash screens too. And it's such a great game. You could even play online with other people.
I think my game group, actually, we do a monthly let's play type of thing where we all, if we want to participate, play a game. I think that was one of the games of the month. I don't know.
Okay. But I actually liked this game. I liked Zao, The Tales of Kezera. I liked it a lot. I just got bored with it because it was a lot of the same thing, and it was challenging, even in story mode. I don't know what mode you were on, but I was on story mode.
Yes, but was it the enemies that were challenging, or was it your platforming skills?
The platforming. Yeah, well, the platforming sucked because
you can't change the difficulty on that.
No, you can't. Yeah. And right away it tells you, and you just really like, okay, well, I got to do this. So let's go. And I keep going and going and going. I think I got about as far as the end of Act 2. I'm in Act 3 right now.
You told me you stopped at 1, so I was like, oh no.
I did stop at 1, but it just like that was the effect it had. It was so addicting after a while that I was just like, let's try this again. Like, yeah. You just like, I know I can get this, because it doesn't change. It's not like it's going to change. It's a matter of how you mash the buttons and how you got it right. So
it's trial and error. You learn as you keep playing it, and you get that jump better. You handle that area faster. You take those enemies out quicker. And I'm going to pull up a quote exactly from the game. And your little wise guide in the game, Kaluga, he says, "Wisdom, no better teacher than our mistakes." And that's literally how the game plays, is that as you're running through all this, you're learning from your mistakes, you're learning a better way to progress, you're learning a better way to handle things. And it's also a little life lesson they throw in there too. It's that, we learn from our mistakes, and that's how we gain wisdom. So it played that way too. And I agree, it was totally smooth. That was what I loved about it. Yeah. I call it, okay, so when you play piano and you've never played a piece before, I was a pianist for a long time. You just put the music in front of you. No, it's long gone. You put the piece from you and you sight read it. You try and interpret it as you sight read it. So I felt like I was sight reading a lot of these areas in the game, where you make it through on your first try, and it was fun because it comes at you pretty quick, and you have your reflexes, double jump, backflip, freaking dash, whatever it is. I loved those moments where it was just a chain of stringing platforming together. Like that's fun for me. I love platforming games in the first place. And then the fighting. How'd you feel about the actual interactions with the enemies?
It was the only annoying, and this is just me. It was just a little annoying have to change from fire to ice based on the enemy.
That's the dance of the shaman right there. That's what it's called. The dance of the shaman, switching between the masks. The mask. I'm not playing you.
Dance of the Shaman is my favorite ska band from the 90s.
Sounds like it. I hate horns. Jesus Christ. Let's leave that in the 90s, Kay.
Oh man.
So I thought it was cool. So let me just set up the fighting, since he didn't like the switching of the masks.
I did. It just got to be much after a while. I was like, oh wait, that's why this guy's not dying and he's pushing me off the ledge.
Well, that's what I thought was fun
switch.
later in it. So you have the L1 button. You switch between the moon mask and the sun mask. You got the moon mask, which is the distance range shooter where you shoot light projectiles, and you have this like Kamehameha when you want to like press your R3, R3. Freaking, so it's awesome. It's range attack, and then you switch over to the what Kamehameha. I don't know. I didn't even watch Dragon Ball. I'm pretending.
I don't even know. Right.
So then you have the sun mask where you melee. That's when you're up close and you do the power moves and you melee and stuff. And then each one has their own special ability. You throw a freeze spear or you throw a electric spear with them. So that's the variations with the different fighting. And so I thought it was fun switching back and forth from doing ranged attacks, diving in, switching to a melee attack, doing a power attack, backflipping and shooting the other guys around me, like switching between. Like, I thought it was fun.
You know what got to me was at the end of the second act when you could build things, and then the smoke is chasing you.
There it is.
The
runaway. The
runaway. I don't like anxiety attacks induced
those are fun.
On me.
That's
all that was. And then not only does it come smoke attacking, you're like, finally, finally I make it to the end. And now you got to run away from the smoke and build things to jump off of at the same time.
There's two moments in the game. And when I looked up this game, I always look up if games are difficult before I play them, because I just don't want to do something that's intentionally difficult, or I want to know, so I adjust the story mode or whatever. And I did. I played on relax. I just took it down one notch. There's 2 notches down. You can go. Right. And it was fine. I never really felt super challenged. I didn't have much issue. The only issue I had was with these runaways, and I saw people complaining about the volcano one most. You haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, I admit
I probably, like all Dad's Game Review reviews, I will not open that game again.
Of course. Well,
I have to keep up my appearance.
And I lost my train of thought. What were we just talking about?
The volcano.
Oh, the runaways. Yeah, so you have the one you run from the mist, and it's trial and error. You get a little further each time because you memorize how it works. So it took me like 8 times the first time.
Right.
Volcano, the one that everybody complained about, somehow it only took me 3 tries. I sight read that one pretty well and made my way through it pretty quick. But they are the little anxiety moments where you're being chased by something and you have to platform like crazy to get away from it. So I thought they were annoying.
I thought they did a great job with this game. I mean, as I call it, Prince of Persia, the Africa version.
Right. Well, this is based on the Bantu tribe, which makes up a lot of Africa, all over Africa. And
is it?
Yeah, and they have I guess hundreds of different languages and stuff, dialect. It's just the name of the culture, the Bantu culture. So it does, it's from Africa.
It was an interesting story. You know how you just casually decide to talk to death. So
I want to. Is your father alive still?
No, he died when I was 9.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
So we're gonna get a little emotional right here. Okay, he died 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
So, like I said, this game is about the creator dealing with the death of his father. And so when I looked up if this game was difficult, the first thing that pops up is here. Let me type it in real quick as we look at this. Cow difficult? Is Zao? I'm sorry, not cow. Is Zao difficult?
Cow. That's its lesser known under budgeted game. Cow.
Okay, I'm not even joking. Here's what it says there. You can't see my phone. I'm showing the video recording. Tales of Kezera Zao is possibly the hardest platformer I've ever played. And then it says, not because of the game itself is mechanically difficult, but because my own unwillingness to engage with its themes of grief and loss made it nearly impossible to play and write about. So when I saw that, I was like, I'm playing this game because I love the games that make me feel, right?
Right, of course.
So what he's dealing with is the loss of his father, and I started thinking about he's struggling. He doesn't have that security. Your father is your security. Your father's there for you. He's the strong one. You're the one learning from him, right?
Right.
He's now feels abandoned in this world. And and his goal is to go and resurrect. This is a shaman stuff, so it's the dead and the living. He wants to resurrect the soul of his father and bring him back. And what he has to go on this adventure to go get the 3 great spirits that he's led by a guide to, and he has to figure out how to do it on his own without guidance. His father was the shaman of the tribe. He was learning from him. He has to do this himself with the weight of the world on him, and he has to figure out how to. And his guide doesn't sweet talk him, and he calls him a failure. Talks down to him, challenges him, doesn't think he can accomplish it. The son has to find his own strength to be as strong as the father through this whole thing, and he's dealing with the grief of the loss. So there's many emotional moments here in conversation where losing my dad 3 years ago kind of hit me. It hit me hard because I had those feelings where it's like, what do I do now? I don't have my dad to call. I don't have that backup $50 if I need it. I don't have, I can't just like go over his house or whatever and say hi. I can't ask for assistance when I don't know what to do. And that's what it felt like. The world was just heavier. And so that's the deeper context of the story in this, which is which touched me. So.
Well, that's great. That's great that it allowed you to reconnect that way and reconnect with your feelings. That's the thing I always say about The Last of Us. It was the first game to ever make me feel. I don't know what it was about the game. I don't know why it made me feel the feels. Maybe because I'm a dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I understood the dilemma that Joel was going through. But when a game crosses that boundary and makes you feel again, they did a great job. And
my first 2 games that ever made me feel that I had just such vivid memories of again, and I don't think I'll ever touch again, is Final Fantasy VII. First time I ever cried at a game.
Oh wow!
And Metal Gear Solid, and the second time I cried at a game. And I was like, these games are so cinematic and so powerful. And I'm like, you're seeing blocky little Aerith freaking, whatever, getting stabbed. And
right.
Little 15-year-old me is like traumatized, like my Aerith. So, and then with the Last of Us, I finished it on PS3. And the credits were rolling, and I just sat there in silence for probably 10 minutes. I was processing it. I just sat there. It was just, you get the ending of 1, if you guys have played it, where it just ends and cuts off like immediately.
Yeah, it just cuts right out.
And it's like a shock to the heart, and you just go, wait, what? And I'm gonna process the last like 15 hours of this game. And I just sat there and dealt with it.
What was funny was that I don't know if you ever heard this story before, but when I bought the PS3, I bought the Last of Us edition, right? So it came with The Last of Us, and I never even put it in the machine because I wanted to play something else. I forgot what it was. I think it was Need for Speed. I forgot what it was. It was something else, but I wanted to play. And it just sat on my shelf, and I never played it until PS4 came, and then I had cancer, and a friend of mine came over to the house, and he's like, you need to play this game. And I'm like, I don't need another zombie game in my life. I'm good. I'm pretty zombie.
Because it's an outplayed genre, but this is so much different.
It was so much different. I try to tell this to my daughter all the time, my older daughter. I was like, it's not a zombie game. Zombies are kind of like the B side.
I played the first 30 minutes I played of it, and I went and got my roommate and I restarted it over and replayed the first 30 minutes with him sitting there again because I was like, holy crap. So anyway, we're talking about games that make you feel. We got off track.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Zao made me really, it made me think about my father. It made me think about what he was feeling. I feel like I'm a very empathic person, so I could picture the weight he was feeling to succeed, and he really just wants his father back. And so he just goes on this whole adventure. You face these 3 giant spirits. They're fun bosses. They're not really that challenging. How'd you face 2 of them, right?
Yeah, so I did the boss. The funny thing was that the last boss, the one that I did in Act 2, cracked me up when you killed him because it reminded me of like 9-year-olds playing with a video camera. It was just like his head.
They weren't real serious. They were cool, but they weren't real. Yeah, I don't know. It was a good experience, I guess, but they weren't really that tough, and it was kind of silly.
It just cracked me up. I was like, "What is going on? Did I actually kill him, or is he just playing with the screen? What is he doing?"
Yeah, that was the bird, huh? The big bird.
Yeah, the big bird, the one that was breathing that black smoke or whatever to kill you. That was creating those anxiety attacks. But Yeah, no, I really love this game. I really did.
Let me give you some stats on it real quick, because this is the
Okay,
only
go
thing
ahead.
only thing I had a couple complaints with here. So there's only 11 different types of creatures in the entire game, and that includes 3 of the bosses. So there's actually only 8 different types of enemies you face through the whole game. And
Oh, okay.
it started to feel real repetitive, but what they do to mix it up is they add shield variants where somebody will have a moon shield, you can only attack with the moon. Somebody will have a sun shield, you can only attack with the sun before you can take them down. So they
Right.
throw variants like that on the 8 characters or the different enemies and stuff. So I didn't really get bored, but I did notice that there wasn't a whole lot of variety. So that was.
The funny thing is, when I first started, I remember saying that to you, that I was bored.
You
Because it felt like it was the same thing over and over and over and over, every single scene. It just felt like, okay, I just got to jump differently here. But then after a while, when you get into the story of it, which is something I tend to ignore, you it started to all come together, and I was like, okay, now I want to play this game. And I don't know what it was, but it was somewhere between Act 1 and Act 2 that I was like, okay, I want to finish this. Let's see how this goes. And it really turned me on to the game. So
I probably could have played it on normal. It really wasn't. I think I was just a little bored because it wasn't that hard. But it challenged me a little bit in the third act.
Right.
The fighting gets a little crazy. I know you're not going to go back to it, but it does get a little crazy. And you start doing these challenges where you have to survive like 5 waves of stuff, and it gets pretty intense, and you get all these bonuses. So that's what I was going to say. The other things in the and there's
crazy,
only 8.
Crazy is when I shut things off. That's when crazy. That's.
It was fun. It was never too intense, but it was enough. There's only 8 characters that you interact with through the whole game, and I actually like that. It was simple. It kept the interactions. You didn't have to remember a lot of people. You knew exactly what was going on. There's going to be 7 locations that you go to, and then there's the collectibles. You have 32 echoes that you find, which help you level up, which give you trinkets, which give you bonuses.
How many trinkets did you get? Because I only found 3.
Wow, I got every single one but 1.
Oh, really?
But
no, I couldn't find them.
Here's the thing. Didn't you notice the black spots on your map? They don't make the stuff hidden. It tells you right. That's what I loved about the simplicity of the map. You know exactly where you are on the map. Yeah. Okay, so he just found the button for the map, guys.
This makes it so much easier.
No, it shows you your area, but it also shows you areas that are black. And if those areas are black, there's an echo there to find. And an echo could be a trinket. So all the black areas you just got to find your way into, and they're right there on the map for you. And I love that because I can't remember crap. So that was easy.
No, I did find the map very easy to read, very easy to go by. Like, did you ever play actually Metroid Dread?
It's a horrible fact that people yell at me for, but I've never.
I played it on the Switch because I think that's all it's
Metroid.
Available on. Yeah, I think it's only available on the Switch.
Metroid never did.
It's a Nintendo property. It's a Nintendo. It's a Nintendo vehicle. So if you ever play Metroid Dread on the Switch, it's brutal. The map.
I know. I heard. Brutal. I think I played a half hour and I was like, nope, never mind.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to go with some good, bads, and uglies of this game?
You bet.
Well, that's the intro, kids, to the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the part where we do just that. We talk about the legends of Kezera, Tales of Kezera. Zao. I'm just gonna say Zao.
That's what I call it, Zao. Yeah. And they even make the Tales of Kezera really tiny in the cover. So and then Zao in the big word. So
yeah, Zao. Yeah. So the good for this game was that it was very fun to play. It took a few to kick in for me, at least. But it was very fun to play. That's what I got as far as goods. The goods also is the map was easy to read. You didn't have to guess as to oh wait, I have to go here, and then oh wait, what's that mean again? The legend was right there. Everything was there to tell you how to get around the map. That was the good about it. And the last but not least, the controls were good. The controls felt like an extension of your fingers. That's the way a game should feel. An extension. Like you just boom, this is sprint. It was right there. You could touch it with the side of your thumb. You could change your masks with L's. And the explanation was perfect. It was just spot on. Those were my goods. What do you got for goods?
Yeah, the simplicity of it. Like I could actually follow this Metroidvania. I never felt really lost. I mean, there was some areas I had to figure out how to get into, but I didn't feel just completely lost as where to go next. It makes it pretty clear for you, and I appreciated that simplicity. It made me want to play it more. Like I was more inclined to stick with it.
Right.
It took me 12 hours to beat, and I got I'd say a majority of everything. So that's about how long it is, and that's a perfect length for me. I love between 3 and 15 hours. So that was wonderful. The variety, there's not a ton of variety to it. Even though I didn't really get bored, I could have used a little more variety with enemies and stuff. It just got a little repetitive. Ugly.
You see, that's my bad too, is that it did get repetitive. It just kept it felt like that's maybe why it took me so long to get into it, was that it went from screen to screen. And it was like, okay, well, this is just a different way to jump. Like, it reminded me of the older games when you.
Well, I didn't care about that. The platforming I thought was awesome. The platforming was great. It was the enemy variety. The enemy variety just didn't do it for me. There wasn't enough of them. I would have liked more cool things. And the bosses were pretty simple.
Every platform, every screen was like, oh hell no, there's no way I can make this jump.
Oh, I love that. You look at it, you're like, how the hell do I
one.
get from there to there?
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, so I just got to jump twice and then dash.
The ugly, I'll be honest, when I turned on the game and I started the first 10 minutes, I did not like the art style.
Really?
Oh yeah, but then I take it back. As soon as we got into the game, it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. But something, I don't know, something threw me with the original art style where he's talking with his mother and stuff. It was real blocky, or I don't know. Something didn't vibe with me. It's still a beautiful game overall, completely in general. But just at first, I was kind of a little thrown by the art style. But other than that, I enjoyed it. Play it. It's on PS Plus. Thought it was great.
Yeah, definitely. As far as uglies for me, I really don't have too many uglies other than it was repetitive. That was really, it was just the same thing over and over. They did change things up with the little chase scene. But what happened? Does it change much in Act 3? Because you're gonna have to say, because
even though I'm saying it's repetitive, I never got bored. I mean, I wasn't totally bored. I just would have liked more variety. I still had fun with all the battles, especially when they start throwing in the different armors and stuff that you got to mess with, because it gets frantic. But I just wanted to see more different types of fights. It was repetitive fights. So yeah, otherwise we're good.
All right, want to talk about the news?
I got a crap load of news, dude. I've been paying attention.
And now it's time for gaming news.
Thanks, Scott. So, what do we got today? I just read something about Assassin's Creed, and I just wanted to say out there, as everybody knows, maybe nobody knows, stop making these games. It's like Ghostbusters. You're ruining the franchise. Stop it. It's like when you see it's like when you see CDs in Walmart. Stop buying these. Stop it.
Let it die. No,
There's no need for these.
I get it because a couple of years ago I counted up how many releases there were, and it was 30 releases over 15 years, and that was up to Valhalla. So yeah, it has been milked more than a freaking single dairy cow on a farm.
My goodness, I just can't stand it. It's like like I said to you before, what grandfather are we up to?
I don't even know. And
that you need to seek vengeance for. And this doesn't really ruin anything with the time-space continuum. Hasn't Back to the Future taught us nothing?
I don't understand how people can keep a continuing story straight or how they interact with each other. My first
Assassin's the moment Creed, you back in time, you change things.
I know, and that's what they're constantly. They just constantly make up stuff to change time, and I don't even know. But my first Assassin's Creed I'm playing right now, it's Black Flag. My community voted for me to finally try one. Because I talked crap about them, even though I never really played them. I was just like, there's too many of them. I don't want to play them because there's 30 of them.
Right.
So I'm having a freaking blast with Black Flag. Man, I pirate around all the time with my streams. Like it's.
Well, whatever you do, don't play Skull and Bones.
I just started that recently too. Actually, we've streamed that a couple times, and it's good. It's average, very average.
I hate it. I just was so disappointed. I was so mad.
I wanted like a Sea of Thieves type of thing. I wanted my crew on a boat.
After 10 years in development, I want to see something. I don't want to see, first of all, the ship battles. Spot on. The ship battles were spot on. They were gorgeous. It's just that it was a lot of running around and a lot of just...
It's open world. I never really stick with open world games, but I'm playing this one a lot.
Live, isn't it called Live something?
Live. I don't know. It's just open world. That's what I call it. It's just a huge
or something like that.
But this is also
they did the same thing with another game that just came out that everybody's complaining about. And of course, there goes my memory. Uh,
Well, we're talking about Ubisoft here, and that leads to the news I had. I was going to bring up because.
all right, go ahead.
I mean, this sucks too because I'm not a fan of Ubisoft. I think they are just a stupid big corporation, and their games are barely above average. And they think they can set some MSRP price point at like $109.99 for their gold editions. You can just kiss my ass.
They were the bigger people behind Myst when it originally came.
You and Myst, let it go, dude. It was the '90s. Shit. Play a new game. Finish one. How about we finish one? Let's finish.
I finished all of the Myst. I finished
Yeah,
all
Myst.
of the Myst. I am a Myst champion. I am a Myst master.
I don't know. Ubisoft annoys me. So, and what's funny though, I say that, but right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed, Skull of Bones, and what did I? Oh crap! I can't remember the third one. I'm playing 3 Ubisoft games and having a blast. Right? Oh, Motorfest. Motorfest is like my favorite open world racer now. I spent 45 hours and 50 hours in that game. But still, screw Ubisoft.
Like Skyrim.
God damn, I hate Ubisoft, but that game is so fun. So
You just
yeah.
lose yourself like in Skyrim.
So anyway, I was gonna say Outlaws came out, Star Wars Outlaws, and everybody popped and said it's great, but I don't know. I don't care enough about Star Wars, but I don't mind it. It's just not. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. And that's what I do with Ubisoft games, like Avatar. I went ahead and gave it like 2 hours. Was like, no, good.
I never played Avatar.
I see what they release, but it never sticks with me.
I don't know. I never had a problem with Ubisoft before. Are
trailers.
they
Go
the
ahead.
ones that came out with the subscription?
Oh, they have their own Ubisoft Plus. Of course they do.
Yeah, is it like
you can get their.
John was making fun of it. I think the very last episode he was talking about how it was just like he's just like the expansive library of Ubisoft, and I got to pay $12.99 a month for it.
They think they're hot crap. But I gotta say, Shadows looks cool, and that's actually why they challenged me to play an Assassin's Creed finally, because I'm like, I like Ninja Samurai crap. Let's play that. So that was why. So anyway, Trails of Mana came out. Everybody was hyped for this RPG. It's a throwback to the Mana. You've never heard of the Mana series dating back to Super Nintendo? Visions of Mana, Trails of Mana, Secret of Mana. Anyway, there's a bunch of RPGs.
If you say Chrono Trigger, I'm shutting this off right now.
Oh, you mean one of my favorite games ever as a child? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Oh my God, I hate that game.
My brother and I bonded playing through that together as kids. So you can shut up. Anyway, Trails of Mana releases.
All my brothers and sisters were way older. I was the surprise. I have 6 brothers and sisters. And the next one oldest above me is 12 years older. So I never had any bonding between any of them. That was an afterthought.
I think I wrote this name down wrong. I think it's Visions of Mana that came out. But either way, the day it came out to mediocre reviews, and they shut the studio the same exact day. Everybody's gone. Studio closed down. Wow. So, and that was a big recent release that people were hyped for. Then there's Concord, the in-demand live service superhero shooter that everybody just really needed, that nobody gave a flying F about.
Fortnite is what we should just call it.
No, this is more Overwatch. It's more of an Overwatch style.
Overwatch, okay.
And it came out to a whole whopping 697 people playing it on Steam the first day out. Yeah, they were hyped for it. Game is dead. They closed it down September 6th. No longer exists. 8 years in development. I found out they canceled making an infamous prototype crossover to make this damn game Concord. So what could have been really cool got put aside for Concord, and it flopped. It's the biggest video game flop I think ever. I think it broke that record. Way to go!
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I don't know. They announced the PS4 or 5 Pro. Everybody lost their damn minds.
Yeah. Why do we have to?
I get it. Yeah. I don't need it either. There's really no reason right now. You could have waited like 2-3 more years and let's extend this life cycle, but they've always got to do the next big thing. So it makes sense they announced it. Everybody's pissed off at the price, but it's already been proven that if you tried to build the guts of the PS5 on a computer, you'd be spending about $1,300 to $1,500. So $700 sucks, but it's not actually bad for the technology. However, what they're showing me doesn't show me anything impressive. They came out with no new games showing any special tech. They said, old stuff like Ratchet and Clank will be upgraded. Like, woo, hey, there's more people in the crowd. I don't care.
Oh boy.
It just doesn't look any impressive to me. I'm sure I'll end up getting one. But what happened is
really, you'll buy it anyway.
I got a PS4 Pro, but I got it at the end of the life cycle, and that was actually a big upgrade. The PS4 Pro felt like a big upgrade to me.
Really?
Especially with the internet issue and stuff. My internet, it's like made it way faster. So.
Oh yeah, how's the internet thing going?
Oh, I got it fixed finally. They rewired my entire house, so that's at least done. But it turned out to be
but then after that, it broke again.
Oh, I know. No, it just never started working. It was actually turned out to be a computer issue, and my friend fixed it, and he can't even tell me how it got fixed. He has no idea. He just runs some diagnostic stuff. So it's not like I learned how to solve the problem. It just now works, and until it doesn't work again.
And it was your computer all along.
But I was going to say about the Pro, that it doesn't come with a disk drive, and that pissed me off as a physical collector with 1,500 games.
Yeah. I did read that in the news. I read how the disk drive, the external disk drive, sold out in minutes.
Yeah, so guess what I bought today, because the scalpers went ahead and decided to buy every single one and are going to double the price and sell it to people that can't get a disk drive, because nobody's going to even want to try and pay a markup on the PS4 Pro unless you're a desperate fanboy. So it's like they're going to buy the stock, I'm sure, but it's they're going to control the disk drive price.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Yeah, so
I bought my PS5 off of a scalper. I mean,
how much did you pay for it when it was out?
$600.
Oh, well, that's what it released at. That's not a scalper.
For the disc version.
Yeah.
No, but this was like 2.5 years later.
Oh, well, that's still the normal price. A scalper is going to charge you. They were charging up to $1,200 for the PS5 back when it was coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a rumor that there's a PlayStation VR 2 headset. Are you going to buy that as well?
Oh, the wireless one? They did show something about that as possibly a thing coming out. But now my big tragic news of this week was Annapurna closing down. You guys know if you've listened to my guest spots, I've raved about Annapurna being my favorite indie company ever. And I've been doing what I call the Annapurna Adventure the last 2 years, and playing and reviewing. I've done 30 of their games. I was going to play through their entire library. So when I saw this news yesterday, I freaked.
Right.
that freaking so what had happened was
maybe that's why they're not replying to any more of your mentions.
Maybe that's why they ignore me on Twitter. You guys, come on. They don't care now. They're not even open anymore.
They're not even there anymore. They're just one guy.
They wanted to be their own division. They're such a big indie game developer. I think they're number one for indie games and their publishers and stuff. And they support all these small companies with QA testing and funding and all this kind of stuff. And they wanted to be their own division. They didn't want to be under Annapurna Interactive's umbrella. They wanted to be their own game division. And Moneybags pulled out and said, nope, not happening. Everybody walked out. So there is no Annapurna right now. And I'm hoping they re-find each other and stay together as a team and pick up these small developers that now have all their projects in the air. Yeah, that upset me. That's all the news I got.
That's all the news I got too, really. I mean, why don't you tell people where they can find you? We're going to put this recording on YouTube. This is the first one. I don't even know how to do it, but I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. In fact, maybe if Josh's recording is better, I'll just give him my username and password, and he can upload it.
Well, and so we're making let me tell you guys the changes to the podcast, actually, because Paul's just like, I don't know, do what you want.
It's just, I always said the same thing. I always said the moment this podcast becomes a chore is when I'm out. Because when it feels like work, I don't want to do it anymore. It's just, and that's not just podcasting. That's anything I do. The moment it feels work.
You don't have to worry. I'm a very, you've already probably known by now, I'm a very motivated person. I'm very driven. If I have a part in something and I'm taking a piece of something and making it my own, I'll handle the work. Don't freaking worry about it. So we're going to be trying to put it on YouTube. I'm going to promote it more around Twitter and stuff, but we're going to do only 2 shows a month. There's going to be one shorter game, which is one of those 3 to 15 hour games. And then we're going to have one game that we play for all month for the last podcast of the month, where it's more like a 20 to 40 hour game. So we have time to get full reviews on stuff instead of covering so much of the title screen and menu options. I want Paul to have more. I want Paul to have more time to play the games. And he had 2 weeks to play this, and he got almost all the way through it. So I'm proud of him. There you go. I'm proud of him. We're gonna talk more about the game.
Great job. I pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, so we're gonna have more time to play the game, so we're gonna have more time there. We'll end up covering things a little more deeper, so we give you guys a real review of the game, and you can get a feel for it. I try and beat whatever I play. I'm not gonna beat the 25 to 40 hour ones, but I'm putting into it. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, we're doing Prey for the end of the month.
Prey's the next one. That's the next game we're playing right now. I'm still on the first, looking for a key card, trying to get out of there. But that's as far as I got. Yeah, no, it's not going to be the typical Dad's Game Review podcast where I play part of the game. I come in, John does a whole bunch of voices, and I say, cut, good. Let's go to print. And then people get nothing out of it. We're going to try and get a little bit more deeper. We're going to try and, and see where it goes with this, being that Josh. It's a lot nicer when somebody else says they're going to do all the work. Because I'll be like, yeah,
I got you.
And this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have comments. Then we're going to have people on screen. Just
and
piling it on.
And then here's what I want from our 12 listeners. I want you guys to interact with us and get into the comments section. There's going to be comments turned on DadsGameReview.com. You're going to be able to comment on what we're talking about and tell us we're stupid, tell us we're right, tell us, we're pretty, whatever. YouTube, save that one for YouTube.
Yeah.
So I want more interaction. I'll talk to you guys. I'll totally talk to you guys. I'm a streamer. I'm a Twitch, or I'm on Twitter all the time doing everything. So let's interact. So that's where we're going from here, and I love it.
That's great. That's great. So I don't have to do the let me see here. I don't have to do the wrong one. I don't have to do this because we already said it's Prey. Okay, so do you have did you give out your Twitter handles? Because it's usually at Dad's Game Review for mine, and then that's it.
It's so I lost my brain for a second. GoshJoshGames on everything except for Twitch and TikTok, where all my streaming and clips are, where it's GoshJoshGames with a Z at the end. GAMEZ. And I'm very active on everything. So if you want to interact with me, that'd be great.
Sounds great. All right, so we'll talk to you next week, kids. Stay tuned as for a new adventure and a new chapter for Dad's Game Review. And I'll talk to you next week, Josh.
All right, bud.
All right, see ya.